have now close to 20,000 customers, independent homes, as well as 200 plus housing societies that are SolarSquare customers. We are now becoming the first company in India which is not just guaranteeing quality installation, we are also guaranteeing performance of solar.
I'm Manish, and with us here we have Shreya, who is the founder and CEO of SolarSquare, India's largest residential rooftop solar installation brand. Shreya, thank you for taking out time and being with us on this call. And first off, congratulations on closing the current round. This should enable us to actually solve the problem of solar access across the country. We at Elevation are also excited to double down on our partnerships. So congratulations and thanks again for taking out time.
Thanks, Manish. Thanks, always a pleasure.
Awesome. Shreya, actually would love to start with a quick overview of how last 2 years have been. We had partnered in mid of 2022, and in those days, solar access was still an early story. It was still a story that was yet to play out. But last 2 years have been phenomenal, and would love to understand how the space has evolved and how have we worked on capitalizing it.
For sure. So I think before I talk about the company, I think what has happened in India's solar story itself, I think it's one for the ages. So like you rightly said, there's been a massive solar revolution that's unfolding before our eyes right now. When we had literally started, less than half a percent homes, when 2021 when we started, less than half a percent Indian homes had adopted solar. To put this solar revolution in perspective, the first 1 lakh homes that went solar in India, it took about 5 years. And that happened around 2019, that first 1 lakh homes went solar. If we just look at last year, for 1 lakh homes to go solar, it was taking about 9 months in India, right? And today the market has inflected in such a big way that literally in less than 2 months, 1 lakh new homes are adopting solar. So India's, solar revolution, it's still the beginning of the hockey stick curve. And I think, as you know, many of you would know that India has massive solar ambitions. So we have announced that India wants 1 crore homes to adopt solar in the next 3 years, which itself is a massive number. From currently that only in the last decade, only 13-14 lakh homes have adopted solar till now. So in the coming few years, India is going to be the fastest growing residential solar market in the world. And I think by 2027-28, we will also become the world's largest and by volume, we'll actually be one of the world's largest residential solar market in the world. And I think by 2030, we'll also be one of the world's most penetrated residential solar market, crossing about 30-35%, homes having adopted solar.
Absolutely fascinating. I think the entire momentum around solar adoption in India is unprecedented, and where in every other geography we've seen that solar adoption at the residential side sees this slow curve of adoption in the initial years, but once that critical mass is reached, and we see this today even in our critical geographies where we are present, it just inflects and grows multifold over the next few years. And I personally believe that we are in that journey and in the midst of that adoption taking off. Switching gears, yeah, so would love to understand a bit about our model and how that has evolved to capitalize on these tailwinds and to enable access to solar.
Right. So this is a heavily unorganized market, Manish, right? It's a market where a lot of mom and pop installers operated. And if you imagine the solar, in the history of mankind, we've not owned power plants. So every family is a first time solar buyer. Every family is rid with a lot of anxiety when they're putting up solar, because it's a big solution. It's not a plug and play that you buy a solar system and plug it in your home. It's a full solution which has 70 components that have to be carefully selected for your home, then procured, then transported, then solar has to be designed for your rooftop, then installation and workmanship, quality, safety standards matter, and then starts the after sales journey, where very much like a car or an air conditioner, solar requires regular maintenance. So for a family, it's actually a fairly big solar, it's a solution sale for the family. And our mantra has always been that in this high ticket size category, as it is growing very fast, consumer demand is there and will only increase. It's actually a supply side problem, where families do not have reliable service providers that they can trust for quality, safety and reliable after sales. Because solar is actually a 25-year life of the asset, which is much longer than even your car. So when you choose a solar installer, you actually have to trust him for 2 decades of after sales. And if you have any breakdowns or you need warranty claims, you have to trust this company to maintain, and uphold their promises. So I think it's definitely a supply side problem, and that's why we started out to create a brand in this category which could solve for reliable, full stack solar solution. So we are a full stack brand. We do everything end to end in house, from procurement, design, installation, then after sales. We even help families get easy loans and financing on their solar purchase. So we've eliminated all middlemen, and when we take the end to end responsibility for the consumer, we're delivering better service, better quality. And one of the big changes that has happened in the last 2 years, we always knew that installing solar is just one piece of the puzzle. The real magic happens in ensuring regular performance of solar. So most solar companies in India, in fact, all solar companies in India and the world, they only take responsibility of installing solar. So we are now becoming the first company in India which is not just guaranteeing quality installation, we are also guaranteeing performance of solar. So we give a 5-year performance guarantee to our customers, wherein we are now underwriting the outcome. So like you say in SaaS, outcome as a service. So it's a little bit like putting your neck on the line for even performance of solar, and that's where having full control in the value chain, being a full stack brand, then having in-house after sales network as well. All of that has allowed us to not just offer this savings guarantee but actually deliver on it every day. And we've also now started building a tech stack, which is our asset monitoring tech stack, which allows us to real-time monitor power production on every home powered by SolarSquare and diagnose issues and ensure that our customers get peak performance and the best savings that they can out of their rooftop solar system.
Awesome. This is super helpful. And Shreya, how has the last year been now, given that we are in the midst of this inflection point and this new model of guaranteeing savings definitely delivers much better value to end consumers than what is available out there. So would love to understand today just where are we as a business and how do we think around next 6 to 12 months?
Yeah. I think when Elevation had invested in our Series A, no VCs were looking at this category. Nobody thought of solar as this, massive consumer business could be created. And like I said, India's market was nascent. SolarSquare was still in its early days. So I think in 2022, exactly 2 years back, when Elevation did our Series A, we had solarized a cumulative of 5,000 homes. And today, we have now close to 20,000 customers, independent homes, as well as 200 plus housing societies that are SolarSquare customers. So, we've grown a lot in these last 2 years, and we have constantly been, improving the brand promises and the services that we are giving to Indian consumers. I think the next 3 years are even more daunting. Like I said, I mean, we have become the India's #1 residential solar brand in these in this period. The maximum number of homes done by any solar company in India is via SolarSquare. We've expanded to 20 cities, but we're still just scratching the surface of India, right? This is not a quick commerce like top 10 city business. Every home in even tier 3, tier 4 cities in rural India want to go solar. So this is actually a 500 city business. So we're barely scratching the surface of India, and in terms of where all we want to expand our services. So we are hiring a lot. So anybody who's looking to join a meaningful company, with building with strong fundamentals of customer service and financial discipline. So you hit us up, and we are hiring across every vertical you can imagine.
Awesome. Thank you, Shreya, for taking out time for this conversation. We at Elevation continue to be thrilled about this opportunity and are excited to double down our partnership with SolarSquare. And we are looking forward to the next chapter as the story moves.
Thank you.